Hello, everyone. I'm George Connelly. You're listening to the George Connelly podcast, and it's good to have you here. It really is. For this special season 3 opener. Now, let me tell you a thing or two about this. I haven't done a podcast in months, and why not bring it back? Is my thought process behind it. So, as you can probably tell by the length of this video, I don't know what it is right now, but you do. This isn't going to be a long podcast. This could be like 2 minutes long. I don't know. I have nothing written down. And I just want to talk to you about, just some basic things, the podcast itself, my channel itself, and all that good stuff. All right, let's get right on into it. First off, about a month or two ago, I started posting videos on YouTube again. I took like 4 months of a break. And I think I've posted like 3 or 4 videos since I've been back, and that hasn't been a lot, but it's been something, I guess. I feel like every time I say this, it's pretty understood that when I do YouTube, it's never my number one priority, and I know how odd that sounds and how it's not something that I should exactly be like bragging about, and I'm not bragging about it, but school is first, and I have a job that I work, and when you think about it, I like business, I want to major in business. When you think about it, it's not always worth, if I can work for 5 hours and make X amount of dollars, guaranteed money, if I can work on a YouTube video for 5 hours, I'm going to make like 2 cents off of it. Not even that much, quite honestly. So basically, if I'm doing school or work, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going into YouTube unless I have a really creative idea and I have time. And now I'm not going to say that I'm busy all the time, because that's quite frankly not the case. And that is where this podcast comes in, because this podcast is, despite its length, and I'll talk about the length coming up, despite its length, it's something that is fairly easy to do. I don't have to film, I don't have to set up lights, I don't have to comb my hair, even though I got a haircut, which is just great, a real weight off my shoulders. Almost literally, but my hair wasn't that long. But anyway, it's easier to do podcasts sometimes, and I'd like to do this weekly. I don't know what day this is coming out, what day of the week. I'm guessing that this is coming out on a Tuesday. So, you're watching this on Tuesday. I'm filming it a while before that. So, Tuesday, September 26th is the day that this hopefully comes out. If not, my apologies. But I've been listening to podcasts, and I used to listen to more informative, structured podcasts, but I listened to a couple of good ones where it's just people talking. Whether they bring on a guest or not, it's just, I think podcasts are good when they're funny, and it's just like a monologue almost, like a really long monologue. So, I'm not going to go into my podcast with the intention of being a comedy podcast, but I'd like to have funny areas, not just boring storytelling areas. Again, this is just, I might rename this podcast, actually. That just popped into my head. The George Connelly podcast is just not the greatest of names. And then, that way, if I rename it, I can call this New Season, New Name. Huh. Well, I'm going to have to come up with a new name for this podcast, and then a new intro, because that one's just not doing it. But, basically, that's the plan. As for the length of the podcast going on, it's going to be a lot longer than this. This I don't see going too much longer, but, actual podcasts, I want them to be at the very minimum 20 minutes. Hopefully shooting more towards maybe 40. 30 would be a sweet spot, but, again, 30 minutes of time isn't always available to me. Other than that, I posted some creative films recently, and I think 1 or 2 comedy things. I think my 4 videos have been 2 short films, 2 sketches, kind of like that. But you know what? If this podcast can become a staple and I can kind of stay relevant and keep something out to my subscribers, that'd be nice. This podcast normally doesn't get a lot of views, but I think podcasts are great to put on. Like when I go home and I start my homework, I start reading. I don't do it while I'm reading. While I'm doing homework, I listen to podcasts and kind of just as background noise, but as hearing something. And when I run or when I mow the lawn, it's a podcast that I'm listening to. And maybe that can I can provide that to you. Maybe not though. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's just about all I needed to say. The channel growth has been pretty. I wouldn't say like superb, but it's been present. I'm getting a couple of subscribers a week now, which, well, not maybe 1 or 2 a week, but my video views are doing all right, and 118 subscribers I think is what I'm at right now. But anyway, as this goes on, I'm gonna introduce more I don't know, maybe segments. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm sorry for this lousy excuse for a podcast for this time out. I don't really have anything to plug other than this YouTube channel, quite honestly. So maybe subscribe to my channel and listen to the rest of my podcasts. That's really all I've got. Strive for every Tuesday. Check the channel every Tuesday for a nice pod guy. No, a nice pod guy. No. Yeah. All right, this is it, and yeah, sure. Okay, see ya.